Hey, welcome to a Physionic video. Today we're going to be answering the question of how does resistance training or strength training impact our chronic fatigue. So if you suffer from chronic fatigue, how does resistance training impact you? So in a short, sweet, science-based mini video, we will answer that question. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So if you're not familiar with what chronic fatigue is, I'll give you a little bit of a descriptor. Essentially, it's extreme lethargy, and it's not necessarily because a person is lazy by any chance. It's just because they feel like they have no energy. And people that typically have chronic fatigue tend to go to the doctor pretty often because they think something is wrong. It's to that level. It's not, like, oh, I'm tired one day. I mean, it's a continuous, everyday occurrence that they don't feel like they have the energy to do normal activities. So that might bring into question, well then, why are we talking about resistance training? And it certainly is a challenge, a hurdle to get over, to then be able to motivate and try and figure out a way to, with chronic fatigue, still go out and do exercise, any form of exercise, but specifically in this instance talking about strength training or resistance training. But I will say that it actually does turn out that resistance training is extremely beneficial for people who suffer from chronic fatigue. As a matter of fact, it is so beneficial that it is more beneficial than pharmaceuticals. So any drug that's out there to combat chronic fatigue is not as effective as a good resistance training program. But even one step further than that, resistance training is actually better than all psychological modalities. So if you're going to go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist and they were to try and work with you to try and figure out ways of improving your energy levels, because it is certainly linked to psychological issues like anxiety, stress, etc., etc. Those modalities would be, while they would still be effective, they wouldn't be as effective as a resistance training protocol. Resistance training apparently has a significant, the most significant positive outcome when it comes to combating chronic fatigue. Now again, of course, the issue is that getting into a resistance training routine when you have chronic fatigue can be very difficult. But if you are able to manage that, that is an avenue that maybe you should try and go down, because it really does seem that resistance training is better than any other modality that is out there for combating chronic fatigue. Okay, that's what I've got to say, so hopefully you found the video informative. If you did, then I would certainly appreciate it if you subscribed to the channel and liked and shared the video. That said, I will hopefully have the pleasure of seeing you in the next one. Have an awesome day. See ya.